Career up in smoke. FDNY boss resigns after furor over racist cotton ball game at NYC school.
FDNY EMS Union President Orrin Barzilay says the department has a history of racial and gender bias, prompting 6,500 FDNY EMS members like Lieutenant Rob Mark to join a 2022 class action lawsuit.
I've become numb to the BS, the racial disparity.
He believes the incident with the high schoolers was ignorant and offensive.
Well, she's definitely no stranger to a second helping. I could see that. She looks like she could be stuck in a bygone era. Simpler times is a term they tend to use. She looks like she calls out bingo numbers. You could have had those kids bob for apples and kept your job unless you ate all the apples. A high-ranking FDNY official resigned under fire after bizarrely leading a group of mostly black students at a Brooklyn high school in a cotton ball relay race that some critics call racist, the Post has learned. And for you people in the comments that are saying, oh, the kids didn't look upset, they didn't look like they had any complaints, well, that's why they're kids. It's up to the people that can see things for what they really are and not what they appear to be to call this type of behavior out. Just because someone doesn't know they're being disrespected doesn't mean that it's okay to continue to disrespect them. The goofy game, historically popular at summer camps. This is a leadership academy, not a summer camp. Leadership academy means I'm there to learn something. Involve teams of players with petroleum jelly smeared on their faces. Now, Michele might enjoy a greasy face from licking the frying pan from time to time, but I, for one, am not willing to block my pores up with Vaseline for a game. Picking up cotton balls with their heads, hands tied behind their backs to see who could carry the most balls across the classroom. It was billed as a team building exercise. Now, come on, kids, let's be honest with each other here. She looks like she doesn't know the first thing about anything exercise. The only weight she knows is 25-pound turkey, 5-pound bags of potatoes, and 1 pound of ground beef. So I checked out her LinkedIn to see if she had a few years of being a firefighter, EMT, some type of first responder. I didn't see any of that. She has all administrative and public speaking skills. She's an administrator at best. If this was a program for potential firefighters or EMTs, I wouldn't want to hear anything from old sailboat draws over here. My opinion, this is just my opinion. I want to hear from someone that actually ran into burning buildings, maybe someone that's still around from 9/11 to discuss with me what it actually takes to be a first responder.
I found it offensive, and many people who reached out to me.
The students were led by a white instructor, an assistant commissioner at the FDNY who was recently fired. A spokesperson for the department saying, once we became aware of the incident, we immediately modified her duty status and launched an investigation.
Black children with their hands tied with cravats behind their back to pick cotton balls with their face. It's disgraceful.
Maglione, who is white, posted video of the antics on social media, which showed some grinning students were clearly enjoying the game. And I don't doubt for a second that they were enjoying themselves, but on the outside looking in, it's a bad look. But FDNY recruiters who saw the video were not laughing. Now we're talking about the recruiters, the people who are actually tasked with finding the next generation of firefighters and EMTs. That's the canary in the coal mine. If they don't like it, then you know it's not supposed to ride. They complained to FDNY brass that they found the exercise offensive, citing the history of slavery and cotton picking. And what does this have to do with firefighting or anything team building, slathering a bunch of grease on your face and putting cotton on your face? It reminds me of like a mild form of tar and feathering. Maglione, who collected nearly $190,000 in city salary last year, was removed from the school and demoted. She then chose to retire rather than face disciplinary charges, officials said. You know, for someone that might not like black people, she sure looks like she knows her way around a few of Patty's pies. It would have taken her 2 minutes to run this past someone else, and that person would have told her immediately that this is a terrible idea. At 57 years old, she should be well aware that the most blatant reference to black racism other than the hard R are references to picking cotton, i.e. slavery. An agency insider called the situation a sad end to Maglione's service to FDNY. Either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
There may be laughter coming from this classroom, but officials say what's happening to students in this video is no joke.
Can't use your hands, can't use your hands.
I didn't like the other children that had their hands tied behind their backs. I found that kind of like, kind of discriminating to me.
Luz Haney's twin daughters were in this summer class at the FDNY's Youth Leadership Academy. One of them seen here doing what the department labeled a team-building exercise in August. But the city's mayor calls it terrible.
One should know the significance of cotton and picking cotton.
It was poor judgment. I agree. It was a very bad look. An agency source said, I've known Michele for a long time. She's a lovely person. She's lovely to you. She cares about those kids. Maybe she cares about some kids. It's conditional, unlike her appetite. However, Kara McCammon, 24, who attended FDNY's EMS Youth Academy at Fort Totten in 2023, claimed Maglione, who oversaw the 6-month program for 17 to 28-year-olds aspiring to be city EMTs, once told the mostly Black and Hispanic students, "You don't belong here," and called them idiots. And this is what I'm talking about. She doesn't belong in front of these students. She doesn't know the first thing about first aid or fighting a fire. I'll give you her LinkedIn page. She's an administrator at best. When McCammon criticized Maglione on Instagram for creating a hostile environment, she was booted from the program a week before final exams, she told the Post. Now, do you think this was an isolated incident? Do you think she was the only one? If you do, you need to wake up, because she might not have the expertise to teach anyone a damn thing, but she has enough pull to kick you out of the program. The FDNY did not respond to the allegations. Classic case of a gatekeeper. Gatekeeping, trying to discourage these kids with hopes that they'll quit. This is what we call being tricked out of your spot. Don't let anyone trick you out of your spot. Don't let anyone ever tell you that you can't do it or you're not good enough to do it. This game was very degrading. It was a bad look. That's the best way that I can describe it. Tying their hands behind their backs, the Vaseline, the cotton, which I equate to tar and feathering. There are so many other games that could have been played. Why this one? Absolutely. Maglione declined to comment at her Diker Heights home this week. Mayor Eric Adams called the game terrible, saying one should know the significance of picking cotton and putting it on their face. I found it offensive, and many people who reached out to me found it offensive, he told Pix 11, which first reported the controversy. New York City Schools Chancellor Melissa Aviles Ramos also ripped the incident. This kind of behavior is insensitive and in no way aligned with our values, covering her ass, and we are grateful to the FDNY for taking swift action to address it. She told the station, "We will always do everything to ensure our students are respected and supported." Of course, I love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this. It's no secret that racism still exists in America. Unfortunately, it's alive and well, but this isn't that type of racism where there's some moron hiding behind a computer typing mean things to get a rise out of people. It hits a little different when there's a face to put to it. A fat face, but still a face.